For the past 2 years at CES, Chinese-backed startup Farraday Future has been pretty tough to miss. From its lavish revealing ceremony in 2016, when it unveiled a concept never to enter production single-seat car, to its more modest reveal event this year of the FF91 luxury SUV, Farraday Future has always been keen to let the world know that it wants to be the next Tesla. Or rather, that it wants to beat Tesla and steal its market share. It was a grand dream, one which, at the right time and backed by the right team, could have actually become a reality. But even at the start, Farraday Future's lavish, showy events and Trump-esque confidence failed to convince hardened industry experts who knew just how hard it was to produce a new car, let alone a new advanced technology model from scratch on a limited budget. Despite this, Farraday Future convinced State of Nevada officials to hold a special two-day session back in December 2015, where $335 million in tax incentives, abatements, and infrastructure upgrades were approved for the company in exchange for it choosing a site north of Las Vegas as the place where it would build the high-end electric car. And although the legislature received plenty of warning from both business and auto industry experts not to offer the tax breaks, it went ahead anyway. But since that point, despite the best attempts of Farraday Future to prove otherwise, it's become increasingly clear that the company's goals for the future are not that achievable. Sure, Farraday Future held a special live-streamed groundbreaking ceremony back in 2016, where a great deal of song and dance was made about how fantastic the new facility would be. And at this year's CES, the company trotted out a slew of high-performance cars on stage so that it could show that its FF91 prototype was faster and more fun than anything that exists today. But the lights and glamour just weren't enough. As someone who attended the event, however, there was a definite feel that the event was manufactured for the benefit of the large number of Chinese investors and business people there, not wider audiences or auto industry professionals. An autonomous driving demonstration didn't work on stage, and other demonstrations, while functional, seemed to feel overtly staged. As to press demonstration rides of the FF91, they were few and far between, and I certainly didn't get a chance to tag along. Indeed, nor did any of the other industry people I knew there. Some company executives, like Nick Sampson, Senior Vice President of R&D, appeared to be genuinely believing that the company had a future. But while the Kool-Aid flowed for employees, other people remained to be convinced. Still, however, Farraday Future maintained everything was fine, promising to bring the FF91 to market in 2018 and opening its order books for deposits. Yet, as anyone who's been following the company will know, fine is about as far from the truth as it would be possible to get. Companies who'd unpaid bills from Farraday Future started to take legal action. The company sold land it had to try and raise funds. Its primary backer, Chinese billionaire Ye Yunting, had his assets frozen, and his company, Leco, also had its trading of stocks frozen due to mounting financial woes. And a dizzying number of high-profile executives came and went from the firm. Instead of that multi-billion-dollar factory in the Las Vegas desert, Farraday Future quietly confirmed earlier this summer that it would be shuttering plans for the factory, focusing instead on building a smaller, more modest production line at a leased facility in California. A facility which, I should note, was paid for using a secured loan the company took out against its headquarters. Then, last Friday, Farraday Future wrote to the Nevada legislature, cancelling its plans for the Las Vegas facility and including a $16,200 check that repays any incentive money it had already taken and, in the words of the Nevada Governor's Office of Economic Development, basically devolving the public-private deal at absolutely no cost to the state and local governments. On paper, at least, Farraday Future is adamant that it will bring the FF91 to market next year, but in the real world, most of us are now firmly on death watch. After all, with still only prototypes to show for it, Farraday Future is going to find itself struggling to meet its own production goals, and that's before we even consider the challenges that lie ahead, convincing car buyers to opt for the FF91 over a similarly priced, or perhaps even cheaper, Tesla Model X. Is Farraday Future dead? Technically not, but with so much competition heating up in the electric car marketplace, I think it would take a miracle of epic proportions for Farraday Future to bring a car to market by the end of next year that could not only match Tesla in terms of price, but also in terms of specifications, range, supercharger network, and after-sales support. Who's to blame? Well, that depends on who you ask, but if I had to personally give my opinion, I'd blame the leadership of the company for focusing on raising money and creating hype for a product that didn't exist, rather than building an amazing product and then trying to raise funds to bring it to market. As always, however, I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments below. That's it! Thanks for joining me, and see you next time.